Don't you like drinking pickle juice?
I do. Katie? Like, back when I was a drinker, my favorite shot combination...
Yeah, that's a hangover cure is drinking pickle juice, but that doesn't mean it's delicious. That's just conditioning yourself to like something to cope with it.
It's good.
Well,
but like I was saying, my favorite shot combination is a Puerto Rican hooker, which is a shot of tequila followed by a pickle juice chaser.
Something to try at home, kids. Or don't. I don't know. Hello and welcome everybody to the AWKWARDCast. ANY and Keyframe wonder about random dribble. And today we are joined not by one, but by two disembodied voices. Namely the voices of Will and Katie Patterson, aka Thespio and Midnight Sonata. Hey and welcome to the show, guys.
I have no body!
It's true.
I thought you guys were just two living masks like your little profile picture thing, but which one's happy and which one's utterly miserable?
We'll never tell.
But
so why don't you, who are you, what do you do, and why should people care?
Exactly.
I don't know, why should they care?
Yeah.
Why should anyone care about anything?
Yeah, that's a question I asked you guys.
Yeah, answer it.
Alright, I'll start.
You start.
Lady.
Hello, I'm Katie Patterson, aka Midnight Sonata. I see my picture suddenly just popped out of the ether. Woo.
This guy did his research.
Yes, he did.
Good boy.
He did 5 minutes of Google searching.
I got inspired by a certain stalker movie to become very stalkery.
Yes. Should be inspired. I am a writer, a producer, and an actor who specializes in the horror genre. And you should give a shit because it's the spooky season. And I'm doing a crowdfunder for a spooky movie, so give a shit.
Well, don't actually give us actual shit.
No, not. Hopefully people aren't too literal.
Yeah.
Can I send you Christmas lights instead? Like, that's my way of finding it. I'm helping the lighting department.
But yeah, you should give a shit, and by
throw it back at you, going no.
But yeah, you should give a shit, and by shit we mean dollars, so that way we can make this movie.
Yes. But anyway, that's enough about me. What about you? Who the hell did I marry?
Some guy.
That's a great question. You know, that's the first thing you want to hear in a marriage is, who did I marry?
But hello, everybody. I am DaWillstanator, a.k.a. Thespio, or my actual legal name is now Will Patterson. I am a voice actor, a singer, a dancer. I want to say I'm a video producer at some.
Well, you were an audio editor.
But yeah, yes, and I am an audio editor. I have regularly. I'm the head audio editor for TF2 Analysis Anarchy, as well as a few other projects. And I've also helped with audio for our friend Lightning Bliss's most recent convention announcement videos.
Yes.
But yeah, other than that, we're just two spooky loonies.
I'm a little more spooky and a little more on the psychotic side than he is.
I smell a perfect opportunity for a segue here, because the next segment is what's going on in your life right now. And I just go back to this picture, to this page here.
Yes.
We are doing a crowdfunder for a horror short film that I have written. And actually, Chrissy, you've read some of this.
Yes, I remember you were on we were on a plane together when you were writing part of this. I just was looking at that being like, oh, of course Will would think this is a horror movie because it was just a giant pile of fruit. Well, I mean, for people who don't know, Will is intolerant to most fruits and vegetables. He refuses to eat them.
It's true. Just for whatever reason, like whenever I like you've been in my presence when I actually tried eating like a small little like stalk of, it was either like celery or broccoli or something, and my throat just closed up. For whatever reason, my body naturally rejects it. I don't know why.
I am honestly on the verge of getting him to a hypnotist and seeing if I can hypnose him to eat fruits and vegetables.
That's too expensive. Just get a blender and one of those funnel things, stick it so it goes past his gag reflex and just pour it down.
I can tell you right now that the fact of that terrifies me.
That's why I'm.
It is terrifying. Anyway, your horror movie.
Yes, it is a horror short film about a man who comes home to find his stalker waiting for him with dinner in the oven. And it definitely...
I wish my stalkers would cook me dinner for once. Sorry, continue.
It's a courtesy. It would be common courtesy, wouldn't it? It's like, if you want to be part of my life, you gotta give me something too.
Well, that's not necessarily a stalker. That's just a butler.
That's true. It's like, become my butler and you can be a part of my life. But the one of the reasons why I make this movie is because I want to bring up with with a lot of like Hollywood stuff. Usually the things you see is like they were in a relationship or they were in like some sort of like they had an affair or something really sexual. And I wanted to show with this horror film that anybody, no matter who you are, can be a victim of stalking, and it can happen for any reason at all.
Yeah, like there doesn't have to be a reason. It doesn't have to be like gender specific or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. And like something that a lot of people I feel like don't realize, because whenever people think of stalkers, they think of the people who are love obsessed. There are different types of stalkers. There are people that are classified as hate stalkers or vengeance-seeking stalkers, where basically they're
people on the internet.
That's true. There is people on the internet, but then there's the really extreme people like that. I actually had a friend who had a hate stalker, and like at first she didn't like it seemed relatively normal, like he was just like an overzealous fan, and then like 2 years later she found his profile, and apparently he was just talking so much shit about her for 2 years straight. And had actually also tried calling conventions to try to get her banned as a guest.
Wasn't there also like a post where he was like carving her name into his arm or something?
No, it was a picture with her name already carved into his arm. It was a really scary thing. It was because I found this picture and I'm like, oh shit, no. And so I'm like, okay, friend, we're gonna have to add this to our list of stuff that we give to the police, because we already had a list of stuff to give to the police. And
you told me like at the end you did get a restraining order.
She did get a restraining order.
Good.
For this guy. Yeah.
For this guy, he has not been in contact with her as far as we know, or if he has, he's done a really good job at hiding it. But as far as we know, this person is not in her life anymore. So thank God for that. But once again, it just shows that anybody can be a victim of stalking, and it can happen for any reason.
Yeah, and
were you part of the crew as like one of those research supervisors, being like, "Yeah, that's it, that's right."
No, she's not. But
I'm just saying that would be a great role.
But
it would be. It would be a great role. It'd be like, tell me your experience, even though I was your roommate for part of it.
But Katie, I have the feeling that only you is more about the stalker, by the love stalker kind of.
Yeah, this one is a little more the love stalker, but the difference between mine and a normal stalker film is that the relationship didn't really go too far. It was kind of like a simple, oh, we just had one date and that was it. And that set them off, versus we had this intense romance and he broke my heart and now I must have him or nobody else can. I mean, that's her mind. That's how my main character, Lily, that's how she operates. But in reality, it was like, we just had one date and now you are obsessed.
Yeah, and the other sort of thing that also applies deeper meaning to this movie is that this guy, do we want to give like sort of like what happens in the film?
No, we don't want to give away what happens.
No spoilers. You need them to give you money first, and then you can spoil everything with the trailers. This is how movies work.
Exactly. Because this is the worst you can do by giving away the ending. Everybody say, "Hey, this sounds like a really cool thing."
Well, I wasn't going to necessarily give away the ending. I was going to say about a plot point.
Well, no. We'll let them see.
That's a spoiler. If you say it,
let them.
That's a spoiler.
Wait. I have a solution.
I may or may not be in the right sort of mindset, as it's still kind of, you know, like I worked late last night, so maybe I'm still trying to work off the however little sleep I got.
Yeah.
Point is, besides working hard to promote your film thing, has anything else fun been going on? Any crazy Uber stories? Any, fun things you'd like to share with the class?
I actually have a little bit of an interesting Uber story. Well, it's technically Lyft, but still.
Uber, it's
the same thing. It's the same thing. So I'm doing my job and I pick up this passenger and my normal go-to response is, how's your day? And this girl just starts going off of like, I lost my apartment. This guy, it wasn't the guy I was working with. It was the person he was living with. He basically kicked me out. And I'm like thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to have to play therapist. Okay. All right. Tell me how you feel. Because I have different hats for whenever I'm a Lyft driver.
This passenger was one of those, like, you ask them one question and that means, oh yeah, I totally give you permission to tell me your life story.
Yes, but it gets better. It gets better. I finally drop her off at her location. I'm like, well, here you are, ma'am. I hope your day goes better. She turns and looks at me and she's like, I think I want to be your friend. And I'm like, okay, you can follow me. What's your
you can give me a 5-star rating and
a $50 tip. Yeah. But she's like, what's your Facebook? And I gave her my name, and I don't know what, but the Facebook gods were like on my side because I never got her friend request for some unknown reason.
Why did
and
you
I'm like
give her your name?
And then like after I dropped her off, I like paused for a moment and I'm like, why does she sound familiar? Her energy does sound familiar. And then it hit me. I had actually met her when I was first moving in with my roommate, and she had seen the house at the same time, and she had tried to get me to be her roommate and leave my roommate there. And I'm like, oh my God.
I mean,
I met this woman twice.
It's a small world after all.
And you have to give credit to her. She seems to be consistent, authentic about her sympathy towards you, because every time you meet, she's like, hey, that's a cool gal I want to hang with. So
yeah, that should be your sequel to this movie.
It might be. It just might.
Or if you ever decide to make a feature
the
length,
same person.
And I already know the title of it. So instead of Only You, it's Always You.
No. Instead of Driving Miss Daisy, it's Driving Miss Crazy.
Also good.
I'm too proud of that.
Also, I probably should.
Like that.
Since we moved on.
I also had a Lyft driver who wanted me.
Lyft driver, you mean passenger?
Passenger, sorry.
Yeah.
I had a Lyft passenger who asked me if he could request people, and I'm like, no, sorry, it doesn't work that way. And he's like, oh, that's too bad. Can you give me your number? I really want to know your essence.
Okay, essence is one of the worst words you could say to a woman. Like,
I know. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's a policy. We're not allowed to give our phone numbers.
Yeah, even I don't use that word around you.
I know, exactly.
Like, that's like viscous and moist and just disgusting words.
It is. It really is. But luckily, that's the extent of my creepy Uber passengers.
That's probably small potatoes compared to one experience I had.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me, I behaved, Will. So please stop calling me out like this.
Are we talking about the crazy lady that was in the crosswalk when you and I were driving back from LA?
No,
because that is amazing.
No, actually, this was I think like around the time. This was like when
you first started doing Uber.
Actually, no, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about that one. I'm talking about when we moved into our new place last year. Okay, so I was driving for Lyft, and I was picking up this I want to say like 25, 30-year-old African American woman from from a little side motels near Disneyland. Mm-hmm. And she lived like her destination was about a half hour away. Now, the thing with me, whenever I work for Uber and Lyft, I always try to provide my own music, either if it's by the radio or my own iPod.
One.
Yes, this one. And the thing is, that way I can keep my eyes on the road. I keep my iPod in my lap so that way I could, select the song.
I don't
control
like
the
where
volume.
this story is going.
No, just follow me on this one. It gets better. So I drop her off, and she was quiet the whole ride, so it wasn't like anything with the ride specifically. But then all of a sudden, like about a couple days afterwards, my account is suspended because here's the kicker. Apparently, me controlling the music with just one hand over my leg to the passenger, that they thought I was masturbating while driving.
Oh no!
Yes, I knew it was gonna be this. Yeah.
Oh no!
He
So I was
so angry.
I
He's like,
w-
how do you even do that?
It's like
With great concentration, obviously, but
like there were like
Have that kind of concentration.
like several things were wrong with this. Like, first of all, if you thought I was actually wanking up while driving, you should. Yeah. First things first.
How I always
that's
jerk off.
something. It's like that's not something. I mean, yeah, you do report that to Lyft, but that's usually the second thing you do. The first thing you do would call the police.
Exactly. Luckily, like the Lyft people were very understanding. Even they were like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, I went to the Lyft corporate office in downtown LA to speak to an actual person about, hey, this is bullshit. Give me my account back. And even they were like, why would they think that?
I mean, seriously, what have you been doing with your phone there? Have you played?
And here's the thing: my phone is on a mount
he doesn't
on
use
my
the phone
AC.
for the music. He uses one of those really old square iPods with like the
which
you have to turn
not to sound biased, but the Apple iPod is objectively Apple's best product, and I hate that they discontinued it. But
point being, that means it doesn't look. You're not like making a motion with your arm. What
Yeah,
the worst
this
you're
was
doing
true.
is that you're going like. You have to spin your thumb, which,
Exactly.
to my knowledge, that doesn't feel exactly great for a male. So-
No.
yeah, and even if I was, like, there would be more motions, like, you would see, like, my elbow go up and down or something
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm
that.
saying. You're doing that. You're basically being like a dad in synagogue trying to text on his phone while the rabbi's reading something from the Torah.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. And, like, my phone is mounted to one of my air conditioning vents next to the steering wheel. So, it's like, this woman was...
Either on something, she does not know what masturbation looks like, or she was a troll.
So she was either on something or just a virgin.
Did you pick her up from a nunnery? Like, what the hell?
No, I picked her up from a motel, not a hotel.
Okay,
a
so she
motel.
should know what that's.
You know better.
Anyways, this is going on long enough. Do you guys have anything else to share, or should we pass the mic away?
Oh, we're also nearing our 1-year anniversary.
Oh.
Yes.
Huzzah, what are you doing?
We are still trying to figure stuff out, but we are contemplating having food at the Beetle House, which is a Tim Burton themed restaurant, and maybe doing the haunted LA hayride.
I'm disappointed. You said Beetle House, and no, it's a Tim. So it's BEETLE, not the.
No, it's not the band Beetle.
No,
I'm
if you want a
sorry.
true Beetle House, you would have to go see the Love Show in Vegas.
I am going to see the Love Show in Vegas, so.
Yay.
There we go.
She finally fulfills a life goal.
Also, aren't you glad that they are not going to the Beetle House without you?
That's true.
That's fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you would be like, I'm going to invade your anniversary just so I can eat at this
No,
restaurant.
I'm not that mean. I have some sense of privacy. All I would do is just steal your ticket so you can't go and I'm there.
Good luck trying to do that if they also check IDs.
That's true.
I've watched enough Lupin the Third to know how to be a master of disguise.
Good lord.
But yeah, so that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes. we're very.
Yeah. Aside from our anniversary and aside from the crowdfunder,
We're just planning Halloween.
yeah,
shit
just
this
planning
year.
Halloween. I'm continuing to work on stuff. I got new audio things to turn in for TF2, and just continuing doing what I do.
Surviving.
Yeah.
So, good. But yeah, I guess on one hand, I'm thankful that you guys had so much to talk about, because I recall that my week was once again disturbingly uneventful. Or am I forgetting something? Am I maybe a bad person? Forget something? No, I believe this week was really mostly just nothing bad. Just like work, video games, cinema, which I will talk about in media.
Yeah.
I have a story.
Oh, you have a story. Excellent.
I have 3 stories, because while my life is uneventful, that means the few moments I do go out of my house, things happen.
Oh God.
No, here's the thing. This is why I need to become a stand-up. It's just that my life is uneventful, and then I have unbelievable moments happen. So, but no, I have a gym story. It's been a long time since one of those.
It's true.
But yeah, so this is another version of Chrissy accidentally scares people at the gym.
Oh God, here we go.
Well, okay, so they have like Smith machines in the back of the gym that I go to, because I go to like an actual gym now, not just to say it to Will and Katie because they haven't lived here in a long time. But the Smith machines are essentially like they're barbell stuff, but you could put more weights on them than whatever weights they have in the free weights, because they only go up to like 60 pounds. So I've been using those so I can lift heavier. And if people remember, I apparently have like a resting bitch face when I work out. Or like a resting, intense, angry face when I work out. It's just I don't know. I'm not angry when I'm working out. It's just that when I am, I guess I become so focused. I look like, don't fuck with me. This weight will go into your ass. And like,
I mean, in all fairness, I believe a lot of people do, but apparently yours seems to be extreme given all the stories.
Oh yeah, because I'm a very small, blue-haired woman.
Oh great! Now people asking for you to show. So do you have any weights at hand?
No, all I have are like my tiny weights that I do to do like warm-ups at home, which are these. And
they don't.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing those around.
They don't get you into bitch face.
No. And this is not a smart idea because these are metal weights. So
yeah,
it's not a smart idea.
I'd rather you not, please.
Okay, they didn't break my bed, so that was good. But no, the things that I do with the Smith machine is like deadlifts and then squats. So I basically am picking up and bending down, and there's a giant mirror on the wall, and I can see the people behind me, which are mostly like 20, 30 some gym dudes. The people that wear those tank tops that are ripped all the way down to like your fucking hip, which is at that point you just shouldn't wear a shirt. Yeah, like, I know you want your pits to breathe, but your pits don't go down to your fucking hip bone, dude. But,
what's that have holes that big? Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, the armholes. And it's like, you're obviously wanting to show your obliques to brag. Don't act like it's anything different. But I'm doing them, and I could just see one guy just looking. And he's not like a leering look. It's like a... Keep in mind I have like 100 pounds on this thing right now, and I'm just and I'm just I got to a point because this guy was staring at me. I put it down and I'm just like, yes sir, do you need something? And he's just like, you're fucking scary, and walked away.
Oh boy.
I'm just like, I look in the mirror and people have seen me. Am I scary? I mean, I guess it's a scary sight to see a small person like me. The way I describe I sound like I'm from Munchkin Land. To see a small, skinny person like me being able to lift that much weight. Because, when you lift weights, you can actually see the muscle that this person has. I guess that's scary. But to hear some kind of 25-year-old dude just be like, you're fucking scary, and walk away was like, are you disappointed? What?
I mean,
I'm sorry, I'm not a delicate blue flower.
I mean, if anything, it probably just shows how determined you are to lift, sis.
I mean, apparently the only other scary thing, because this is where the story should end.
Oh God, no.
I scared another person at the gym. Because here's the thing. I listen to music while I work out. Like any normal person.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tend to, but what I don't know is that if I'm doing stuff, I tend to lip sync to the music.
Oh, you do that too?
I'm not like singing along because I'm in a public place, but I'm not whispering either. It's just my lips moving. Right. I don't lip sync with whispering. The thing is, I listen to a lot of
death metal, yes, we know.
Harder stuff when I'm working out. So I've been listening to a lot of like Eminem when I'm working out.
Oh.
So
okay, you have caught my attention now.
I'm like doing decline push-ups, which is like a push-up where your feet are like raised up, and you could just and I'm like doing them, and I think I had like fucking I don't know what song. It was an Eminem song. I think maybe I had either Slim Shady or the hi, my name is what, but I think it was Slim Shady, because I was like, well, the real Slim Shady, please stand up and put each finger, and like I look up to just check the timer on my phone to see how long I've been doing them, and I see these two like girls my age who looked like they were on their yoga mats doing stretches, staring at me dead in the eyes, and I'm just like, and this is across the way. I'm like, and they tried turning their heads away from me because they could see that I'm making this direct eye contact with them, and then eventually I walked over to him and I was like, what was wrong? I was just lip syncing to some music, and they were like, yeah, we know. Your earbuds are really loud. Turns out my earphones were leaking out Slim Shady and every uncensored Eminem song I was listening to. And I'm just kind of looking around at the rest of the area, and there's like 40-some-year-old Latino women that are just using like the small free weights and stuff around. I'm like, if these people along the way can hear it, then Abuela heard it too, and I am now feeling very bad. So I got new earbuds this week. This is the end of that story.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my God.
But yeah.
Most of my stories are scaring people, which includes my last story.
Have you considered becoming a scare actor? Like maybe like one of those people that jumps out at you at haunted houses and stuff like that?
Yeah. You could easily audition
You can finally have revenge for Six Flags 2016.
Yes!
Don't remind me of Fright Night, man. No, see, here's the thing. If I become a scare actor, instead of being like a vampire or a creepy clown or something, I'm just existential crisis. I jump out and just say things that put you into like,
it's like tax returns.
Will you ever be truly happy with life? Do you feel like you deserve what you've achieved? And then instead of the people screaming, they just slowly go on the floor in the fetal position, just dead staring.
I think I have the perfect sort of scary name for you.
Yeah.
Anxiety.
Yes.
Oh,
or better yet, like if you were like a scare actor and like maybe like you had some sort of like metallic or robot like outfit, Anxietron.
I like Anxietron.
But yeah, I guess we can let
Anxietron.
one final short one you said?
Yeah, it's a final short one. It's
Okay.
just me. No, there's a park down the way, so I go for walks and stuff just to get fresh air and be a decent person. And
I think I know which park you're talking about.
Yeah. I haven't been able to do them because my new medication has made me really tired and like sleep most of the day, which is fun. But I went for a walk, and there's a lot of baseball diamonds there, so there's a lot of constantly going like parties and everything. And there was just this family leaving their car, and there was this huge party, and I didn't know what it was, and it's a family reunion or something. So, like the person I am, I asked, and they tried to be nice, but I think they were weirded out by the blue-haired lady asking what's going on in her like Lucio hoodie, just kind of, and like rainbow leggings, just walking across the way. And it's like, I'm not scary. I just am I can be sociable when I want. I made friends with a random family who photobombed us on my birthday in Disneyland, which made Max for months not believe that I'm an introvert, because he's like, you just talk to these people. And I was like, was
that the same trip to Disneyland you invited the two of us to?
Yeah. At like fucking Jack. It was like a jazz kitchen, and we were taking a picture, and I was buzzed, and I saw there's family photobombing, and I took a picture with a random family. So,
I remember that.
Oh yeah,
but yes, as my stories are completing, also this week, to transition into media, I became obsessed with a new musical.
Wait,
let me put a link.
You did not share a link with me,
No, I'm getting a link. I was trying to find a good live performance that wasn't attached to like an official Tony thing, because then I know it's going to be blocked in your country.
Oh yeah, we had this before.
We've had that with SpongeBob. We've had that with Beetlejuice. We're not having that with this new musical, 6.
Oh yeah, that's a crappy enough video that it should probably not get blocked.
Well, actually, this is I'll give context to this clip actually later. But 6, what is 6? It looks like a concert, because it kind of is. 6 is a musical about the 6 ex-wives of King Henry VIII.
I heard about that.
Yes. And it's presented like the girls are all in one group, as they all sing songs talking about them getting married and their demise, to see who got it worse from Henry.
Wait, also their demise. When and where does this musical take place? Heaven? Hell?
We don't know. It's just it's kind of like how Hamilton retells history with rap and hip hop, but this one is with like Spice Girls, Destiny Child, girl rock pop music, which is a lot of fun. I didn't think I would like this idea.
Yeah, like just from looking at the clip, it's looking like if you made if you didn't mention this was like about Henry VIII and his wives, I would say like, when did Glow become a musical?
Yeah,
that's what I was about to say. But basically, the first song, the opening lines are divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived, which is all the fates of the princesses. From left to right, you have Catherine of Aragon, who was the first wife, who got divorced, so King Henry can marry Anne Boleyn, who got beheaded, and then got married to Jane Seymour, who had King Edward, and then died at childbirth. Then Anna of Cleves, my favorite fucking character in this musical, who has the best story, who's essentially maybe the first example of catfishing. Because, okay, the story behind Anna Cleves is great. So, when King Henry was looking for a new suitor, they recommended Anne, and the House of Hoblin did a painting of her, because, there were no cameras back in the day, and they fudged up how she looked so King Henry would like her. And then when she finally met King Henry was like, she looks nothing like her picture. Because, they redid her pictures to fit English beauty standards and not the German beauty standards, because she's a German princess. But and then she got divorced and got a bunch of palaces. Honestly, probably got the best deal out of everyone.
I mean, she survived for once.
she was called the king's great sister because she stayed best friends with the king, and she was like the most powerful person in the eyes of King Henry besides King Henry's children and the wife. So, and then you have Catherine Howard, who got beheaded, and then Catherine Parr, the final queen who survived because King Henry died. And all their songs are like fantastic. They're like different kind of pop styles. And apparently during the actual performance, they do have banter with each other between the songs. But the clip that I showed was actually a song that's not on the soundtrack. They encourage you to film that last part.
Oh.
To really sell the fact it's like a concert.
Oh.
And it's so much fun. And the soundtrack's only 9 songs because, you know, you have 6 songs for the queens.
Mm-hmm.
The opening number, which they all sing together, the closing number, which they sing together, and the one song that I feel like people would be turned off by the musical, which is the song called The House of Hoblin, which is about the painting studio that made Anne's painting, which is, have you ever wanted to hear Bavarian accordion music mixed with like Eurovision German techno music?
I don't think I ever.
This is fun.
No, that's the basic song because you have like accordion parts and then it's like the House of Hoblin, yeah, and then just hard techno beats. You hear an air horn in the background.
We call it we just call it folks music over here. Thank you.
Yeah, I was about to say like with what you were describing, I'm just thinking, when did Rolf from Ed, Ed, and Eddie become a DJ?
I mean, that's basically it. But yeah, my personal favorites in the musical are the Catherine of Aragon song, Anne of Cleves, who's just my favorite character, who has a song called Get Down, which is just her humble bragging the entire fucking musical, being like, I have gold, I have a palace, I can go dancing whenever I want. And then the final song, which is done by Catherine Parr, which is called I Don't Need Your Love. And they're basically like, yeah, this is our story, which is cool because you don't really know much about the wives except for the fact that they were Henry's wives. And it's just, and they all, I'm perfectly fine with historical musicals, even if they fudge some things for artistic reasons, because if it does anything like it does for me, it actually makes me research the damn stuff. There's a huge portion of my search history, which is now about these queens, just like to learn about them. Though the one thing I will say about this is that with stuff like Hamilton, you know, about a founding father that got shot to death, about the 6 ex-wives of Henry VIII, who's, you know, beheaded and dying and divorced, and how it separated the church to the Church of England and all this stuff. We are just getting ever more closer to source material that Springtime for Hitler from the producers will become an unironic musical. Like,
Oh my God, you're so right.
Springtime for Hitler in Germany. Look, mark my words. Sometime in the next decade, there will be a World War II musical.
But they probably will be.
And for all we know, it could be done with fucking hip hop. I don't know at this point. Like,
let it not be said, Mel Brooks may have been ahead of his time.
Wasn't he anyways already with a lot of stuff he did?
Oh yeah.
True that, but like this would not only confirm it, it would like send it to like the fucking solar system.
Maybe he predicted it, and that's why we have Hamilton and 6 and stuff. But yeah, I recommend this to anyone who, if you liked Hamilton, you'll probably like this, and it's a lot of fun. I only don't recommend it for people who really, really hated the 90s and 2000s era of girl pop bands. So, like, if you just absolutely despise the Spice Girls, I don't know how much you'll like this, but each song has kind of a different genre of music. Like, there's a ballad, there's kind of J-Lo-y dancey song, there's straight up like Estelle music. There's a lot of it, but if you really hated that era of music, you may not like this.
Though I will say this, like looking at the picture of like the poster and all that, it's Reign in Queens, hallelujah. That is an excellent tagline.
Yes, it is. So, but yeah, go listen to it. If you live in England, you can go watch it. If you live in Chicago, you can go watch it. And next year, if you live in New York, you can go watch it. I imagine tickets will be easy to get. Do you hear the sarcasm in my voice?
But yeah, that actually sounds really interesting.
That's my media. Yay.
Yay.
All right.
So, do you guys want to go next?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Sure.
I'm not happy with this one.
Yeah. Okay, so a few days ago, like you're probably seeing the trailer for it right now, we bought this DVD at, I believe it was, well, you bought it at Target, right?
Yeah, I bought it at Target. It is a movie that I was actually really looking forward to seeing, called The Dead Don't Die. And it stars...
Yeah, the dead don't die. It's this...
And it stars Bill Murray. And it's basically a small town that's invaded by zombies. And it seemed...
Nose guy, what's his name? Yeah.
Yeah, that other guy. I can't remember what his name is, but I do know.
Star Wars guy, evil guy.
Yeah, Star Wars guy. And the thing is,
Adam Driver.
From like the way that the trailer was presented, I thought it was kind of like Zombieland mixed with Napoleon Dynamite, with like a lot of the deadpan kind of humor,
and maybe with like a little bit of Ghostbusters because it's Bill Murray.
Well, that's where I got the Zombieland from. Is from Bill Murray.
Okay.
However, that's where the good stuff ends for this film.
Oh no.
It was awful, boring, just so much. Nah.
I cannot believe I live in a world where I have to say a Bill Murray movie bored me. You would
and
like
big oof.
It is a big oof, and they have all these people. Like they got Selena Gomez and Tom Waits.
Ziggy
Pop made an appearance, and
Steve Buscemi, and
there's like they had a lot of really
all these great people.
And with the premise like this, there was so much you could do with it. The script was so dry and boring. You didn't get to know any of the characters, so if any of the characters died, you didn't care. And it's like, it didn't explain why the zombie apocalypse. Like, it was building up this thing of why the zombie apocalypse was happening in this small town, but it doesn't go anywhere with it.
They explain nothing.
It was just depressing. I just remember sitting there with Will after this movie was finished, and I'm like, I turned to him and I'm like, this is why I vet my movies before I buy them. Because I don't want to have shit like this sitting on my shelf.
But I mean, I have seen the trailer myself, and I can confirm, yeah, it looked interesting, and I basically was sad that I missed it in cinema a while ago.
Well,
I'm turning more and more glad, because I would have done the same mistake in your place. I would have also been like, hey, come on, Bill Murray, trailer looking decent enough, giving me the Shaun of the Dead vibes.
Yeah, I mean, like, Bill Murray, he is like one, like... He's
okay, and there's a few
He's spanned
jokes.
like so many, like, over the years of comedy. He is one of the funniest men alive in film.
And he can do deadpan comedy really well.
That's like his niche right there.
Especially in SNL, if you watch a lot of his SNL stuff, he does a lot of like the deadpan stuff. But like Bill Murray couldn't even save this film for us. And it was just awful. I was so disappointed and so sad, and I was just like, this was supposed to be a really great film. The trailer, I felt lied to because of the damn trailer.
Yeah, I was expecting to laugh my ass off with this because there were a
few moments that were relatively funny. Like in the beginning, they hear, what is the song? It's called The Dead Don't Die. Why is that song playing? It's the theme song. It is? Yeah. Okay. It's like
there was even like a thing where when Bill Murray and Adam Driver's character
spoilers.
Spoilers.
Where's the spoiler alert button? There we go.
Okay, there's this one segment in the film where Adam Driver and Bill Murray, they're stuck in a police car with zombies coming from all directions. And
Bill Murray is like, you've always had a inkling that nothing was going to turn right, that this was all going to go bad. How do you know?
I read the script.
What are you talking about? Yeah, Jim sent me the script. Jim only sent me my scenes. that son of a bitch, you know what I've done for that guy?
So just a lot of meta humor, but
there was like the really only
That was the
funny part on the
only-
meta humor.
Yeah, there was like very little meta humor, or if there was a lot of it, it fell flat.
Like the only funny parts were the meta humor stuff, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, and those moments were like very far few and in between.
Exactly, and I'm like, they could have really played this up, you know? They really could have. And like, honestly, in my opinion, because once again, spoilers, they die a horrible death, and it just ends that way. And I'm like, it would have been funny if they somebody had called cut, and then you see that this was all just a movie, and
Like
something
akin to like how they ended Monty Python and the Holy Grail with everyone getting arrested.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious, but no. So you can take the spoiler off for this one, because we're just gonna say we don't recommend you see this film.
They just played this too straight. They barely took any risks.
You couldn't you didn't feel any attachment towards any of the characters.
It was too many characters and not enough time with them. If they made this say they made this movie maybe the same length as It Chapter 2, maybe 2.5, maybe 3 hours, and fleshed it out a little more.
Not 3 hours, just a regular 2-hour film.
I don't need an
something
endgame length movie called The Dead Don't Die, and it's just Adam Driver and Bill Murray ranting about their scripts.
Yeah.
I would like to watch that for 3 hours, but not as a film.
Yeah. It's like a YouTube video.
Yeah, or like some
Tucker and Dale versus Evil on Netflix instead.
that's actually a fun
Tucker
one.
and Dale versus Evil. That is a good one.
That's a great film. If you want a good dark comedy, go there. Don't go to Dead Don't Die.
Yeah, Dead Don't Die. I'm sorry. We just thumbs down all the way. I'm sorry, Bill Murray.
You couldn't even save this film.
You are such a funny old soul. I mean, what is he like in his nearing his 70s now?
Nearing his 70s.
But just you were given a crap script.
He's a nice number. He's 69.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No, if I
just a tangent, my favorite Bill Murray story that I've heard is that he walks into a McDonald's, he sees somebody who's obviously a fan and staring at him. He walks over, grabs
a French fry, eats it, and says nobody's gonna believe you, and leaves.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
That is one of my favorite. I want to get that level of famous one day, and that's it. I don't need to go any higher. I don't need to go any lower. I just need to go walk up to someone, eat their food, and be like, nobody will believe you.
Beautiful.
That's all we have to say about this piece.
We really should recommend our guests to bring more bad media to the show, because this level of salt was amazing to experience.
I'm kind of glad I brought the good media this time, because I had one other media idea, and that was the Hellenbach movie, and man, this would have just been the negative cast.
Well, I mean, we did have a choice for another thing of positive media, but it was already talked about last week when you had Abby here with Ready or Not. Ready or Not.
Yeah, I mean, I told you guys, if you have something new to add that I haven't tackled on, would have been, but I believe you guys productively, talking and over Ready or Not and being actually hey, this is really good, would not have been as entertaining as you guys going nuts on Dead Don't Die. This was glorious.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I do want to at least, I know I didn't bring this up with you earlier, but I actually finished, I want to touch upon this quickly, so that way we can sort of offset the bad with a good piece of media. Mm-hmm. And this actually comes in the form of an audiobook that I actually just finished listening to last night.
Oh, yeah.
Which would be...
For those that don't know, I am a huge fan of a certain voice actor named Rob Paulson. And in case you don't know, he's the voice of Yakko from Animaniacs, Pinky from Pinky and the Brain, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I just listened to the audiobook version, I cannot speak today, what is wrong with me, of his book called Voice Lessons, How Pinky, an Animaniac, and a Ninja Turtle Saved My Life. And I was already a huge fan of Rob as a kid, and seeing some of his live shows for his Talkin' Tunes podcast a few years ago. But getting to hear his story of not just about his career, but how he survived throat cancer.
Oof.
That's just it. Ugh.
Like, of all the cancers for a voice actor to get, that's probably the worst.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the one, I assume?
Yes, that is it. And just hearing his story of how he got diagnosed, how he got through the treatment, and how he became stronger because of this experience. Like, of course, it wasn't his fault. Some bad cell was just being, hey, I'm just gonna be me. But just hearing him tell this story with such passion and such sincerity, it almost drove me to tears. It is
He
such
nearly left work to go, Katie, can you just hold me?
Because not gonna lie, hearing him talk about him dealing with cancer and a lot of the side effects that he did, because he had to go through chemotherapy and radiation, and my mom had to go through chemo for breast cancer before she passed away, and hearing a lot of the stuff that he went through, almost word for word what my mom went through with chemo, I almost left work last night just to say, Katie, can you hold me?
If there's one good thing to come out of that fucking Batman Harley Quinn movie that they made, is the fact that I think that was one of the first things Rob did after coming back into voice acting after the throat cancer, because he played like the twin cronies that were singing karaoke when they entered the villain bar, and he sang really fucking well. And I was like, oh wait, he did this after having throat cancer. Good for you, Robbie.
Yeah, that was after. Interestingly enough, he talked about during his treatment, he actually got cast in the new VeggieTales, where he was a singing piece of bacon.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, and he was
VeggieTales.
But he wasn't
vegetarian bacon.
He wasn't happy with how he was sounding because of the treatment. But thankfully, he didn't have to do much pickup work after getting the clear of, you're all good to go. You should be done with your treatment now. And it was then he was like, maybe I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be enough. And
also
that
a good
just,
lesson.
Yeah, like just with me, like, I fully admit I can be a bit of a perfectionist, but hearing that being said from someone I have looked up to since childhood, I'm just like, oh, Rob, you pure old goodness person, you. I am just, yeah. So to wrap it up, I definitely recommend either getting getting a copy of this book or listening to it via iTunes, Audible, wherever you get your audiobook fix. I definitely recommend Rob Paulson's voice lessons.
I will put the Audible link in the description down below, but yeah, you can also find your own stuff.
Yeah.
You have something to throw in between, Key?
Oh no, just before we move, I was thinking about the VeggieTales bacon thing, and I was like, is in the VeggieTales world, is things made out of meat supposed to represent atheism?
Oh!
Like, I'm just saying, that would be fantastic. Because I'm just like, I've heard Rob Paulson voice in some not VeggieTales rated shit. So I'm just like, can he play an atheistic piece of bacon?
Yeah, he even talked about how, like, in his early career, he played a porno director.
Yeah.
And his one line was, "Where's the cum shot?" And
With that, moving to Max's media.
One last media, and once again I have the feeling like, actually I want to throw in another media after mine, but I once again have the feeling that I should, on the one hand, it's probably good for me to go last, because I usually either ramble on forever or I don't have a lot to say anyways. So let's see how it turns out this time when I talk about Joker.
Yes.
Yes.
You're not allowed to have two medias, Max.
Yeah, we were considering seeing it, but with the crowdfunder going on, we just haven't had the time.
Mm-hmm.
But we have heard some good things about it, and also the controversy that was spreading around it. But please go on.
Okay, yeah, maybe I should throw out the controversy at the end as well. But yeah, overall, I would also say like a very good movie. I mean, here's also a good thing about the trailer. This, what we are seeing with the sign, is literally one of the first scenes of the entire movie. So this trailer is surprisingly spoiler light. This is something that I just want to positively point out. For once, we have not a fucking trailer that gives all the top scenes from the end of the movie away. In general, this is shot or written very brilliantly, like how stuff builds up over time. It's all very cohesive. Stuff that happens earlier it actually, this is a fascinating thing. We are talking about an infamous character like the Joker, and them coming up with this origin story for him. And damn it, I just realized that some of those shots are actually not in the movie. They are trailer shots. I must stop looking there. But no, you think a character as insane and as a Joker and as would be really, really hard to convey a believable origin story for, and they pull it off. They really show, like, from the beginning, this is kind of normal-ish guy who is just working as a clown on the street and trying to make a living. It actually feels necessary how he develops all the way into this maniac who is leading gangs of sociopathic freaks under his command, and it works. It felt smoothly all into place throughout the movie, and you see his more Joker persona building up slowly and coming from this a little bit socially awkward type in the beginning to like the Joker in the end of it. Besides that, they also are like going down a very realistic route, which is like with a little bit down the Nolan line of the Batman movies, even though they already had a Joker and Heath Ledger was pretty brilliant. Also completely different. You cannot compare this Joker to any other incarnation so far. And
that's good.
That is good. So it's a completely new spin.
Which is a very hard thing to do, considering the Joker has been made so many times, and with like Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Jared Leto,
Cesar Romero,
Mark Hamill.
There have been like tons of incarnations of this character.
And yet they managed to create a completely new one once again that still at the end of the movie feels like, this could be this guy, this clown prince of Gotham City. Even so, now maybe to go a little bit into the controversial stuff, so even so they show a lot more concrete aspects of his psyche, as in that he is mentally ill, which is probably something that usually doesn't come through that much. Usually he's just a freak, a sociopath, or he's so over the top, like the Mark Hamill one, who is just randomly throwing stuff out there. While you see him here being like really, it's also a thing explained very early in the movie, so it's not really a spoiler, I would say. So his laughing fits are actually like something a symptom of him being a little bit mental, and he carries around a little card that says people, like, when he gets a laughing fit, he just pulls out this card and gives it to people that they can read, like, excuse my laughing, it's part of a condition I have.
It's a tick.
It's almost like Tourette's in a sense.
Kinda. There is more to it, but that would go into spoiler territory. But it's like, this is where we start. And here's the thing: towards the end of the movie, when stuff gets more drastic and radical and brutal, you kind of do sit there and kind of cheer him on. Which is probably the part where it becomes problematic, where people claim like, oh no, this is basically a manifesto to mass shooters, or no, not a manifesto, but an inspiration to people going nuts and off the rail. But then again, I would use the same argument that always is the argument, like, those people don't go and commit insane acts because of some media they consume. They do this because they have been mentally ill from the get-go, and maybe we should not expose those people to the media. But the medium itself is an impressive one. It's a strong one. It starts surprisingly slow, but I still caught myself.
It's one of those slow burns.
Yeah, but it's not too slow. So even so, it starts slower, and I was a little bit like, in the beginning. I quickly got involved in the drama of it. So yeah, what would I say overall? I mean, first of all, it works very great as a standalone. You don't have to watch anything else. Any background knowledge. I mean, it probably is for some of the big scenes later in the movie. It's probably helpful that you know at least something about the Joker and Batman mythos. Otherwise,
if you watch the original Tim Burton Batman, it really heightens one of the scenes in this movie.
Sure, yeah.
But
it's something I kind of want to piggyback off of like why people are like, oh, this really supports violence. A lot of like the villain backstory kind of movies that we get, like stuff like Maleficent and even Wicked, as much as I love Wicked, it shows that these quote unquote bad guys aren't really bad guys. Whereas if I'm correct, I haven't seen the movie yet, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, ANY. This doesn't show that. It just shows this is how this person is. And yes, this person is a bad person. There is no good redeeming qualities to this person. Mm-hmm. This is just how they were.
Yeah, kind of.
And a lot of people, I feel, are we don't have too many stories like that are not like based off of real people. And like I said, a lot of like the villain backstory movies we get are stuff like Wicked or stuff like Maleficent or stuff where it's like these villains weren't really villains. They were just misunderstood. And we don't really get that with the Joker. And so when people see that, they kind of get this negative feeling of like, ugh, this is really bad. I mean, there's no redeeming qualities.
I mean, there's this entire society made him kind of issue, so that when you're unhappy and shit, that this justifies his behavior. But no, at the end of the day, it doesn't. So it's a movie. People need to differentiate it. So yeah, I would say if you are in for a more slower burning, emotionally strong, impactful movie where you follow a mentally sick bad guy around, then I would absolutely say, like, yeah, that's sure worth a watch. Pretty great piece of cinema, stands well on its own. If you are mentally ill and already consider doing something very brutal, please don't watch this movie. Please don't.
Yeah. Well.
Phrasing.
Just
like,
say. I'm just saying. My acts of violence wouldn't be against all of society. Just a couple people. Maybe someone in this very room.
In the room over there, or the room over here? Or
what room are we talking about?
We're talking about the virtual room we are all in.
Oh shit! Run!
I'm not looking at you. I'm looking down.
Anyways, one last media I wanted to throw out.
You're not allowed two medias.
It's for everybody.
What?
Because, since we all kind of have our roots there, should we maybe tackle on something else?
Oh!
Okay.
I actually have...
We haven't seen the finale yet.
You haven't? Oh, okay.
No,
this is probably...
I'm actually going to right after this when I get with Voice of Reason for at the screening.
Ah, I see.
Fine, here's my thoughts with no spoilers.
Okay. I would have kept it spoiler-free as well.
Oh,
but
yeah,
your thoughts?
It's 3 parts. Part 1 is Part 2 has a cool fight in it. Part 3 is sweet. And we learn which ponies got to fuck. Like, literally, I'm not joking with some of that. There is actual, like, yes, it is canon that some ponies get to fuck.
LGBT.
Oh my.
Wait.
This was already last episode.
Yeah,
So you're
well.
saying that, like,
We get to see kids.
we get to see the main six have children?
We'll see. Watch the thing for yourself, man.
Okay.
People get to fuck.
No, but also the thing for people who missed it because it was really just a split second in the background last week in the episode where Lyra and Bong Bong proposed to each other.
Yes,
They
I saw that moment. That was sweet.
They fucking double down on it. There's a newspaper that is actually centered on something else, but in the corner you see a picture of them in bright dresses on a train on the wedding celebration. It's canon. The gay is canon in Ponyland.
They're now very, very best friends.
Yes.
Oh,
Really best.
It's
so
just
now they're the second confirmed same-sex couple
Yes,
that's
they
actually official, aside from Aunt
There's
Holiday.
technically a third one come the epilogue.
maybe if they kept
They
it
talk
ambiguous.
about living
They
together.
keep it
There's
ambiguous.
a third one.
But yeah, the thing is that talking about ambiguous with the two ends, while it's like neon written, but it's never explicit. With Lyra and Bong Bong, it's absolutely 100%, no way to deny it, explicit. So the gay is canon. I repeat, the gay is
There's
canon.
gay in the Rainbow Horse Show. I'm
Yeah.
so shocked.
No, but
Who could have ever seen that coming, aside from literally everybody?
I mean, it is the Scootaloo's ants are official canon. They just didn't state it in the show, but every other piece of media that is counted as canon with the show have said that they're married.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, to throw out my spoiler-free 2 cents, I have to say I found it a very satisfying ending. People who have been closely following me over the last few years will have noticed that I grew a little bit apart with the Pony Show, and while still watching it, I often kept it, was a few weeks behind and stuff, so the passion was not so strong. But yeah, I watched the finale, all 3 parts, and I felt it was a good ending. I can see what you meant with the first part being meh, but especially with the final one, it was a good send-off. It was like what so many TV shows fail on. I mean, the first thought to mind came like, My Little Pony Friendship with Magic has a better conclusion than Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Has a better conclusion than Star Versus. Has a better conclusion than probably Gravity Falls.
Yeah.
So like,
It's
yeah.
That was actually one of my fears with watching the finale. I'm like, because I'm not gonna lie, some of the episodes for the second half of the season have not been very good. Daring Doubt being the prime example of pure unadulterated shit. But
I haven't seen that one, so I wouldn't know. I basically just caught up with the show from the last laugh onwards.
Yeah,
Because the
just
last laugh
letting
is
you
the best
know.
episode of the show.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know, Daring Doubt is.
It's awful.
You're not gonna like it. You're really not gonna like it.
Can I just say, though, there was one thing that gave me the biggest of warm fuzzies from that entire fucking finale, and it was it's a small thing, but one of the it's not a spoiler.
Okay,
it's not a
okay.
spoiler because I'm saying it in a non-spoiler way.
Okay.
One of the places that the main 6 are at in the finale is actually a place they were at the end of season 1's finale.
Yeah, that's true. I noticed
And I
it,
was
and
just
it
like,
was like,
wait a minute, I know this place. And I was like, oh.
Yes, going completely full cycle. They did a lot of.
So they end at the.
They didn't make it a big deal. It's only a part of it.
They actually. Here's the thing. They did a few very great pop culture references. Great in the sense of they were not like they were lines that were absolute pop culture references, but they worked in the context completely.
Like they weren't references
Yes.
just for the sake of being references.
Exactly. So they were like, a character says a line, and it's like, I see what you did there, and it made sense. So it was a proper pop culture reference.
Okay.
What was it? The difference between fan pandering and fan service, and it was a good one, whichever this was. Nikki V did an entire video on this. Also, Key, the twist at the beginning of the first part, I did not see it coming, and I was surprised how much sense
actually
it made.
did. I saw it coming.
How? I mean, we cannot talk about it right now.
We
since
can't
people
talk
haven't
about
seen
it right now, but
we have to talk about it tomorrow
we
or
can
something.
talk. We'll talk about this tomorrow. But the
Exactly.
thing was, when that
I
twist
did
happened, because
not-
Brett didn't see the twist either, and neither did Taylor. But I was kind of like, because I saw the finale before everyone else, because I'm a
Okay.
dirty leaker. But I was
mean,
just kind of, I was
Denim
like,
and I might have watched it on Friday as well.
yeah, but I was just like, no,
We
I
didn't-
saw it coming.
No, we didn't see it coming. We were both like, what? What? What?
Nah, it's actually kind of obvious when you look back on it.
Yeah, but this is so brilliant about it. Sorry, yes, Katie.
I just want to give my 2 cents on like the finale. At least it didn't pull as a Sopranos where it ended in mid-sentence.
Oh, you have
I
seen
think
it.
everyone learned that's not a good idea.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That was my one fear with watching the finale. I was honestly hoping, like with some of the episodes in the later half being kind of bad, I was honestly really hoping that they wouldn't pull a Game of Thrones.
And just
Because I have seen some people on Twitter not showing images, but like just saying, like when the leaks happened, just letting the guys know, I saw it, it's bad, you're gonna hate it, don't bother, blah blah blah. And I'm just like,
trolls just trying to like make you seem sad and then go, oh
yeah. I was
good.
like, I'm not sure if you're actually serious or not.
I mean, here's the ironic part. Game of Thrones and MLP both had their final episode being a send-off episode. And still, My Little Pony did it better. Because the
There's one
send-off
thing.
was better.
I was disappointed with one thing, and that was not the show's fault. It was, I guess, the Hub or Hasbro's fault. I would have loved if they put a fucking trailer for the next movie or the G5 show, which is in fucking production. I know that it's been in production since like season 8. So I was like, this would have been the perfect time to show a trailer.
true. It's
Just
true.
saying, y'all
Well,
ruined your advertising.
At least a teaser.
Well, I mean,
or
maybe they're not
something.
finished. Maybe they're not finished yet. Maybe they don't have
You
enough
can still
assets to
test
show.
footage. There's actually a lot of movies and stuff that make trailers when the film isn't done.
But not even a teaser? I mean, I would prefer to
No, they
have...
just started replaying the Summer Sun Celebration episode with the villains, and it's just kind of like, well, I feel gypped. Like,
But yeah, I mean, we finished all the ponies off in 10 minutes, so it's time for the questions.
time.
Q&A.
Yay.
It's
Alright.
question time.
We have 3 questions on Discord.
Oh,
also.
I
No,
have plenty on Twitter.
it is.
I can
It is 1:11 where we are. So let's get through these.
Yes, I have one quick one from Fraser Place on Twitter because he also tried to bring it up last week, so we can probably finish it off quickly. Have you guys watched regular show? I can finish it quickly. I haven't, therefore I cannot say anything. I heard good things, and it's kind of on my mental to watch list.
I have. I watched it since it first premiered with Adventure Time, and unlike Adventure Time, I actually watched it religiously when it aired episodes, and goddamn it, Cartoon Network, you fucked up showing the series finale for that, because you know what they did for the series finale of regular show? They did a Teen Titans Go marathon right before airing the series finale. Fuck you!
So was it good or bad?
It was great.
Okay.
It was a great finale.
Oh, the regular show in general.
Yeah, regular show is great. It gets really good as it goes without going into like story archy Adventure Time territory. Plus, James Baxter worked on the finale of regular show too. He just has a thing with that apparently.
James Baxter!
James Baxter. But yes,
Yeah, I
I've seen
actually
regular
I
show.
remember back when we lived in our old place, we did have regular show in like our list of things to watch, and I think we at the very least started
Was that
with
the one with the blue cat?
No, that's
no.
Gumball. Regular
That's
show
Gumball.
has the
regular show has the blue
23-year-old
bird
blue
and the
Oh, that! I didn't latch on to
regular
that
show
first episode.
has the Blue Jay that's from a film that J.G. Quintil made about 2 gas station attendants getting high on LSD, and the raccoon who's voiced by the same guy who plays the pastor in Moral Oral. That is the best description of the show that I could possibly give.
I watched one episode and it just didn't grab me for some reason.
Yeah, we watched the first episode together.
I should probably try watching it.
Sad person.
I live with myself.
So, we did watch the first episode, and I may give it another chance, but again, it's just time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird show. It's basically if a stoner comedy, like it basically is a Cheech and Chong, Harold and Kumar animated show, and utilizes the fact it's animated to do crazy shit. But if you're not into stoner comedies like that, you're probably not gonna like it.
Oh, also, fun fact, I just realized we have already answered Matt Entman's question, what are your thoughts on MLP season finale? See?
Whatever.
It was okay to bring it up.
Discord question.
Yes.
Okay, I am not Smooth asks. Great name.
Odie, I take it.
Yes. Who do you think? Who changes their name every week?
To mess with you. Yes, it's Odie.
What? Well, I mean, he states facts. I am as smooth as a piece of sandpaper. I am as smooth as that highway we walked on during Nightmare Nights that gave me the millions of blisters on my feet.
You are not as smooth as that one Carlos Santana song that literally is titled Smooth.
No, I am the antithesis of that song. But he asks, what's that thing you've seen so much in social media you get disinterested about it due to the sheer constant overexposing?
I mean, there's
I think you can say this for a lot of memes.
I mean, there's also the aspect of desensitization with a lot of shit that keeps piling up, and you grow like.
I mean, I could say a very cynical one if we're going to go that route.
Yeah, maybe don't. Stay with the memes.
Because it involves... See, the cynical route would have been a lot of bad news. A lot of bad news involving schools. Let's just keep it there.
Yeah, or high politicians in
I
certain
think the
big countries.
school one is worse than politicians, because politicians have been corrupt for a long time.
No, I mean a specific one.
Well...
Yeah.
I think
But,
the thing that I hate seeing over and over again, and this happens a lot with horror stuff, is people are like, "This isn't friendly for kids," and I'm like, "This." Like, for instance, people are like I remember there was complaints against American Horror Story. I'm like, American Horror Story is rated M for mature on television. That rating system is there for a purpose.
It has the word horror in the title.
Didn't we also have like a couple of soccer moms like either start a petition or ask someone to take down a billboard for It Chapter 2?
Yep. A soccer mom wanted the It Chapter 2 billboard that's on the Warner Brothers studio, wanted it taken down because it was too scary for her kids. I get tired of that on the media. I'm like
I guess like mine is to make a completely honest one, probably cancel culture things. It's not even desensitization. I'm just so tired of seeing the blank is over party hashtag every fucking week. I haven't seen it because I'm not on Twitter this month, but it's just kind of like just being like, oh, who's getting canceled this week? Little Nas is getting canceled. Taylor Swift, fucking, I don't know, fucking Mr. Beast. It's just like, And then you read about what it actually is, and it's like a joke they say on a podcast like 17 years ago, and it's just like I mean it started. I mean obviously it started before that, but like the James Gunn cancel party was like one of the first big ones, and it's just gotten more petty from there, going from making tasteless jokes on Twitter to being like, oh, you said something offhanded in a podcast once that was bad.
Yes.
You don't deserve. I'm not a fan of Shane Dawson. Like, just saying, I'm not. But God, I feel bad for the man half the time that he's just trying to move on and grow up, and he obviously has. And people just keep holding him on to his past that he has very much stated he's not proud of, and he's trying to be better. And then every week they're trying to like fake pedophile allegations that they kept on Twitter for 2 days because of a fake video someone made. And it's just like, I'm sorry, Shane. I don't support a lot of your documentaries, but I'm sorry for you as a person, you know?
I'd have to say I sort of leaping onto that, at least like with my thing that I get tired of seeing constantly on social media. You know those things where they prompt you to retweet in the next 30 seconds or bad luck will rain down on you or you'll get
You mean basically the millennial, not even millennial, the Zoomy version of chain emails?
Something like that. Just for whatever reason, I don't know why people keep on retweeting because they think it's good luck. I'll get $1 million because of it. I'm like, stop it. When has that ever worked? It's like, I get
that. I get stuff like that sent to me occasionally through Messenger, through random people, but it's always religion. It's always about Christianity. It's like, praise God. Share if you praise God. And I'm like, I'm Wiccan, dude.
Yeah, like the thing that, and also some posts take it one step further. Like there's this group of emojis that's basically the phases of the moon. And they keep on pressing enter after each one. It's almost like you keep on scrolling.
When the post is like 2 feet long.
2 feet long, and it keeps like the moon phases swirling down. And at the very end, it's like, you reach the bottom. Retweet in 5 seconds or you will have bad luck for the rest of your life.
The only ones that are fine with being 2 foot long posts is the one with the giant sky and there's a dog at the bottom, and the really sad one with the Mars rover. Yeah. Like, those are the only posts in the entire internet that are allowed to be like 2 feet long. Yeah,
just when people take it out of proportion and actually fall for this, like if you don't retweet, like the classic one is a picture of someone holding like a couple dollar bills in their hand. Retweet in the next 30 seconds and money will show up to you. And this was like popular on Tumblr for a while too. I would see replies saying,
I remember first having a cell phone and I would get text messages like this from my friends. And I'm like, what the hell is this?
And then like at least for me, like I would see things on Tumblr as replies like, this works. I got paid this morning.
Yeah, no.
And I'm just like...
That's like a fortune cookie saying, you were going to breathe today. How did it know?
Exactly.
I need a line of fortune cookies that are just things that are just happen to people during the day and have them at my table.
Already know, I think I can already think of one that Game Grumps would do. Fortune cookies. You will poop today. I did! This morning! How did
You're going to wake up, but I'm already awake. It predicted the past. It knows me. Anyways, next question.
I scrolled through all of Twitter for the last 2 minutes, and I couldn't find anything that really struck me too much beyond like real life political stuff. Because if people have a tendency to post a lot of stuff, I am annoyed by it. Just unfollow them, like very unceremoniously. So that's one way to avoid it. Here's once again a great question where I will suck at and hard. Brandon Kruger asks, what is a movie moment you find to be underappreciated?
Ooh,
See,
that's a good one.
A movie moment you find underappreciated. And I will not come up with a good one for my life. How about you guys? You two go first because I need to think and consult with this somewhat glowing Charmander, but because of the saturation on my camera. Somewhat underappreciated.
That's a good one.
I know, but it's one that's like, oh god, come on, brain.
Netflix, help me. Here's the thing, I could think of underappreciated TV moments really easily, but when you get me to movies,
I dare to say TV is also fine before you cannot come up with something.
Let them go first. Maybe I'll come up with something.
For me,
Katie, you are a little bit far from the mic.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, better.
Yes.
Okay, so I think for me, and this once again goes into horror, Will actually didn't get this moment. I actually had to explain it to him. But in spoilers, if you haven't seen this, the Babadook. The scene in the Babadook where she goes down to feed the Babadook and it comes off on her and she's like, it's okay. And then it like backs off, it grabs the food and goes into the shadows. I think that's underappreciated. There are some people who understand it, but I've met a lot of people who are like, I don't get it. I don't get why that is. And I'm like, the monster is a metaphor for mental illness, where it's something that she has to take care of. It's something that she has to live with. She can't destroy it. It's something that she has to like keep under lock and key, and something that she'll have to like take care of for the rest of her life. It's and a lot of people are like, that's just a dumb ending. I'm like, no, it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor.
Yeah, I remember like when we watched that movie. Like point blank right now, it's a good movie, but I'm never watching it again. It fucked me up.
Yeah, he will. I love the Babadook. He will never watch it again.
Like it scared me, it disturbed me, and it's just.
But either way, I think that moment is underappreciated because people think, oh, that's just a lousy ending. The monster isn't killed, and like it's not a monster. It's her. It's a part of her. She has to learn to control it and not have it control her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's mine.
I'm between two. I'm going to pick the other one because the other one is from Good Burger, and I don't need to admit that I watched Good Burger like 3 times this week because I was... Look, I have gotten really obsessed with watching Netflix, and I either watch films that I don't exactly know are good and then message people I know about it, which is what Hell and Back... Oh, I can talk about Hell and Back now. Okay, so... Hell and Back is not a good movie. It's a confusing movie because I don't know if it's good or not. It's South Park levels of tasteless without like the charm of South Park, but yet kind of has the charm of Robot Chicken and MTV, but it's not that either. It's written by MTV writers, which explains so much about the humor of the movie. But like one of my favorite parts of the movies, which only happens like 3 times, is just these gags between 2 random characters, and one is a soul in hell played by Paul F. Tompkins, who plays Mr. Peanut Butter, and then a random demon, and their scenes are basically this soul is getting tortured by first world inconveniences. In that, like, he's at a Pizza Hut Taco Bell combo restaurant and there's only Taco Bell, there's no pizza, and he's ordering pizza. Or he's like, hey, the demon's like, hey, do you want some Neapolitan ice cream? And he's like, oh, well, I wouldn't say no. Oh, looks like someone ate all the vanilla and chocolate out of it. Well, this is just hearing Mr. Peanut Butter be slightly annoyed at things is the funniest fucking shit that I've heard in years. And just being like, welcome to hell. And all I was doing is watching it being like, this is probably, if Max dies and goes to hell, this will be his tortures, just first world problems. But no, the underappreciated thing that's actually from a good movie is from Into the Florpus, which is with the Invaders Zim movie.
Oh, the Invaders Zim movie.
Yes.
Yeah, which is actually something that I got after watching the film multiple times, where Professor Membrane is like, I used to believe that sharks were my friends. I know better now. And then one of the scenes during the Pieces Nice Things are little kids holding hands with sharks. And I'm like, hey, things go full circle in this movie. I love it. But I also really just like that shark scene because the doofy looking shark standing upright made me and Chris, aficionados Chris, bowl over laughing watching it in Discord. And I mean, I stopped laughing at some point. Chris didn't.
Oh, wow.
So me and my friend Tia, we just have the sharks saved as like screenshot JPEGs, and we'll just put them in chats till Chris sees them and then starts laughing. Because it's like a trigger. He just automatically starts laughing at doofy sharks. But those are my underappreciated moments.
Goofy shark do goofy shark do.
Okay, Max, you had plenty of time to think.
I could not come up with anything, because here's the thing. First of all, you need to come up with a good scene, and then it needs to be underappreciated. How do you know that it is underappreciated? Maybe I just like it and people agree with me on it. So...
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of sort of my thing too. Like, there aren't terribly too many things where I find are underappreciated and other people just dismiss. But I, for the life of me, cannot think of any right now at the moment.
I mean, the first things that come to mind are the great stuff that people already do appreciate. So it's like kind
So
of
it's like
redundant.
it's like what else could you add to the conversation that hasn't been said already?
Exactly.
I can't add anything, but I'll definitely be part of the conversation. That's my mantra in life. I just want to talk into the void and add to the noise pollution. Who cares if I add anything? I'm part of it.
Exactly.
But if I'm the
that's a good
loudest
mantra. I like
voice
that.
in it, then I... But yes, so...
I failed on that one. I'm sorry. But it
It's
was a very
okay.
good question, Brandon.
Okay, next question from Denim Ninjet. Any unpopular opinions about popular foods? I'm not talking about the old pineapple on pizza debate. What else you got? But the pineapple on pizza one is the easiest one.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. That's why you're not allowed
but,
to
but,
next.
but it's,
Okay, I got
but
one.
it's so true.
I
Except
got
it
one.
isn't.
I'm probably one of the few people, at least in this podcast, that actually enjoys Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts are good, man.
Brussels sprouts are fine.
Oh, finally, I meet other people because I recently had them. Like before the wedding, me and my family, we went out to eat at this random hole-in-the-wall restaurant. It wasn't even a restaurant. It was like a bar that happened to serve regular food.
Oh yeah, I think I remember. I think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
And I decided, you know what? I want these fried Brussels sprouts. They weren't like deep fried. They were like pan-seared, kind of fried. And they were surprisingly delicious. And I was like, what is the hullabaloo about Brussels sprouts?
I mean, I guess according to the logic of Kids Next Door, you'll turn into a Brussels sprout hybrid of sorts.
I'm
That
okay
was
with
kind of
this.
scary.
I'm okay with this.
Let's see. Trying to think about what unpopular opinion of popular foods that I
mean,
have.
Mine are probably not unpopular, but very out there.
Well, I know Will puts ranch dressing on a lot of food that shouldn't be put
Like
on.
what?
Like he's done pizza, he's done hot dogs.
Okay, I've heard about ranch on pizza. That's not too out there. It's disgusting, but it's not out
I did
there.
my pizza and ranch, and I'm like, that's normal. I used to work at a pizza place. A good majority, like a good 50% of the time, people
You
will
shouldn't dip your
like-
pizza in anything.
people will
Except
ask
garlic
for
sauce.
ranch on the side of their pizza because so I guess that's my thing. I like ranch with my pizza. So
and you
what?
like it with your hot dogs.
Also,
Okay,
Wait,
that's gross.
I'm
That's gross.
Sure you did.
Also,
No?
question also goes out to the chat and people on YouTube in the comments, obviously. What's your
I
gross food opinion?
I do have an unpopular food opinion, but
Oh,
I think
boy.
that will make people have an unpopular opinion of me.
Why they don't already?
Oh, boo.
I kid.
I like chocolate with pepperoni.
That's an interesting combination.
I like I don't have a big sweet tooth for chocolate much anymore. Like I can eat like dark chocolate a bit and I like it. Like most of the time I'll eat dark chocolate. I think milk chocolate just tastes terrible at this point in my life. Makes me think of the fucking Hello on Broadway thing of get me a Lindor lit truffle. My favorite flavor is blue. But like no, I like spice with chocolate. Like I found like cayenne pepper chocolate and it's fucking delicious. So, but I first discovered that I liked it when at youth group one time I did the most sinful thing that you could probably do in a church, which was they ordered pizza. It was pepperoni pizza, and there were also Oreos in the fucking youth room. And I think it was my friend Jackie, she was like, "Hey Chrissy, I bet you can't eat these both at the same time. How dare you challenge me?" And I crushed up the Oreos, put it on the pepperoni pizza, took another slice of pepperoni pizza, put it on top of it like a sandwich and ate it. And I was like, I like it.
You have lost any right to ever complain
Honestly.
about pineapple on pizza ever again. But then again, I have seen you eat and like it anyways.
No,
but
you have not. You are lying through your little
I'm actually not.
yellow teeth.
Nope.
I actually, Chrissy,
Nobody will believe you.
Chocolate covered bacon is an actual thing.
Chocolate
Oh,
covered
yeah.
bacon is fucking delicious.
Yeah, I've
And so
had
honestly,
something akin to that
pepperoni
once.
is not that, to me, is not that far off from bacon. It's full of fats and lots of different meats and shit like that.
Pepperoni's better than bacon, my dude.
Yeah, I would probably put pepperoni above bacon. But my point is, having pepperoni with chocolate doesn't seem like that big of a travesty to me.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, is it wrong? Now I want to see someone go to a Golden Corral, take one slice of pizza, and then put it under the chocolate fountain.
Okay, no. First of all, don't ever mention Golden Corral. I've never gotten sick consistently at the same place over and over again than a Golden Corral buffet. Second of all, you don't hurt pizza like that. I did it as a dare, and it just made me discover that I like spice with chocolate. That doesn't mean I like pizza with chocolate. I like one
people
singular
make cookie
aspect of that
pizzas, so
pure-
yeah.
Cookie pizza doesn't have fucking tomato sauce on it, you goddamn clod.
Yep, she's right on that one.
But yeah.
Probably hasn't stopped some carnivals.
Okay. Now it's Max's
Exactly. Throwing mine into the ring. I believe I mentioned it before, but I still like it. It's like sweetening my coffee with syrup, like for example strawberry syrup.
Oh, that's an interesting.
No, that's not far off. People do that at cafes all the time. So
Even with very fruity stuff. I mean, I know
Yes.
with hazelnut and caramel and shit, but
yes.
okay, guess I lost this round. Anyways, I have another good question.
All right.
Very fitting for the guests specifically. Sound
Okay.
Juice, aka Balanced Song, asks, "What is your favorite horror movie / franchise?"
Oh.
I'm gonna have to do it as a coin toss between the Conjuring franchise and the Insidious franchise.
I don't have it. Oh, wait, I do have coins.
I love The Conjuring because they do jump scares really well, and I like Insidious because they actually cover something that is not commonly done in horror films, which is astral projection. They actually do a lot with it. You don't see astral projection in a lot of horror films. Usually, and a lot of the supernatural stuff, you'll see possession, you'll see mediums and stuff like that. But astral projection, you don't see. And so I was like, oh, something new in a horror film. I am intrigued.
Call me cliched if you want, but and again, it was in part thanks to her. I
corrupted him.
I have grown to love the It remakes. Like just seeing the first one, because I never saw the 1990 miniseries all the way through.
Aside from just the Tim Curry bits.
Yeah, aside from the Tim Curry bits. But yeah, just seeing both of these movies as, a double package to continue a story. Like, I know, like, Stephen King himself said, this is not a sequel, this is just a continuation of the story for chapter 2. And just seeing the first chapter, it actually kind of took me back to when I was a kid and I actually did have an acting and modeling agent. And I was just thinking, if I was born a little bit later, I feel like, because I saw myself in some of these characters, and I felt like if I was up to snuff, I would have loved to be a part of this, be part of something so big and monumental
and awesome
and scary and all that, getting to push my limits and all that. I don't know, just like I have a real soft spot for child actors who give it their all, and these kids, God bless them, they gave it their all. Yeah. But like, aside from that, the only other sort of, like, I don't really consider the It movies a franchise, I would say.
I think a movie is fine, I guess.
Sort of, yeah, but I would consider a franchise the Jaws movies. Like even I'll admit, like Jaws 4: The Revenge, as bad as it is, I consider it a guilty pleasure. Because just to see how ludicrous the story can get, and just the lengths they go to make this as plausible as possible, it is so entertaining to watch. Like, there's no doubt the first one, classic, can't be untouched. I will say, like, I actually disliked Jaws 2 more than 4.
Really? That's actually kind of interesting because I'm in the opposite. I like Jaws 2 better than Jaws 4.
Well, you've never watched Jaws. You never watched Jaws 4.
I've seen enough of Jaws 4 to know that I don't like it.
Like, I can laugh.
Shut up,
with
Chad.
Jaws
I have the
4.
full right to be cold. I don't have any any insulation on my goddamn body. I'm always cold.
But yeah, just for me, like Jaws 2, critically, it's better than 4, but I don't know, just something about the overabundance of screaming teenagers was just...
But that's most horror films in general.
I don't know, just something about this one, it's like, it was the more annoying type of screaming than the more endearing kind of screaming.
So the answer to the question is Jaws. Because with the advancing time, we probably have to... go a bit more rapid fire on the questions.
Yeah,
luckily, we don't have that much more on the Discord side of things.
But I kind of share the same thing with you anyway. I kind of have a tendency to ramble, so my bad.
It's true. No problem. That's why I'm just pointing it out. No, my end, I will keep it short because I have already mentioned it before. My answer has not changed. Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods.
Of course, Cabin in the Woods. I just love it. Like the hybrid of being an homage to the franchise and a parody at the same time, and being an in itself cohesive movie with a lot of fun visuals. I mean, as fun as visuals in a horror movie are.
I mean, a giant hand burst out from the sky.
Yeah, I mean, like when they just go nuts in the middle and throw basically any cliche horror monster out there. Just like, I mean, they have so many...
The merman was my favorite.
Yes, they have, or the sugar fairy. They have so many...
The unicorn!
Yes, they have so many throwaway monsters just in there for a split second, and it's like, genius. I love it.
Red bloody unicorns dancing on your skull.
Exactly. No.
Okay, I guess my answer now. But no, I'm a very cold person. Anyone who's around me can attest. I get cold so fucking easily, but apparently I radiate heat like a motherfucker.
Oh, your horror franchise is it.
No, first of all, I can't watch the first It anymore because someone kept scaring me while we were watching the first movie in the dark! You!
No.
Yes, we watched it in the dark. I was drunk off wine, and every time the clown popped up, you decided to grab my shoulders and
sorry,
scream.
I didn't mean it, I meant the thing.
No.
Another one syllable. Another one syllable.
No. My favorite horror movie, it used to be Misery, but watching it again, probably Jordan Peele's Us. I think that is the film that when the movie had its final closing shot, it was like, damn.
Oh yeah.
Like the entire movie, because we went to go see it. Like me and Max went to go see it, and the theater was pretty full for once when we went to go see it, and it was just like. The theater was very quiet at the end of the movie when it did its final shot, and it was like,
right.
And we were talking about throughout the whole fucking train ride home, just like finally having like things. You know that scene from Seinfeld when Jason Alexander's trying to come up with a joke he couldn't, and then he's in the car later and he comes up with the perfect comeback. And he's like, "Damn it!" That was the movie. It was just like, wait, that's why this thing. Oh my god.
And fun fact, this is actually the first movie I've ever seen where the ending of the movie is given away by the goddamn poster. Yep. You know the poster where she has the face that's smiling and then
underneath you see the tear rolling down? That's basically spoiling the end of the movie.
Yep. And the thing is, Will pointed that out to me, and I'm like, how did I not see
But that's a brilliant one. That's a brilliant one. When you only afterwards are like, oh, instead of
Yeah, but no. There's our answer. Do you have anything? Is it a Discord question now?
How many do you have left?
Actually, just really 2. And they're both by Enigma. One's the fuck, marry, kill, and one's another horror movie question.
Yay, horror movie question.
I mean, we are on the horror train. Let's go for another horror movie question.
Enigma RM Prince asks, if all 4 of you were in a stereotypical classic horror movie with a murderer and it's Halloween themed, what horror stereotyped character would you be? Who amongst you would be the first to die, and who would be the lone survivor? Here's the thing: most of us would probably say that us ourselves are the lone survivor.
No,
so that's
Katie's the killer.
No, there's already he didn't ask who's the killer. There's already an unknown killer.
No, it's just they are like, which role are you? Katie's the unknown killer.
No, Joey would be the killer. He'd be the twist killer that's actually the one who did it.
Everybody suspects Katie, but it's Joey.
Yes. But no,
But if I were to pick a character that wasn't the killer, because God knows I would be the killer, honestly, I'd probably be the first to die. If I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm probably the first bitch that gets killed.
You are the.
I'm the whore.
It's just wanted to say you are the teenage girl who is like dancing for her DaWillstanator,
and then all of a sudden gets her head chopped off. That's me. I'm the whore.
Also, Joey doesn't seem to be too happy with it in the chat.
He could kill people with a pizza slicer. Yes, you could have a catchphrase, Joey.
Let's see. Knowing me and my practicalness, first sign of danger, I would be the character like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Screw you guys. I want to save my own hide.
Would you be the person that like gets into the car but forgets how car keys work and then gets killed?
Probably.
Maybe?
Are you the person from Scary? Are you the girl from the beginning of Scary Movie who's trying to get away from the monster and there's that sign that says death and then safety and goes the death direction?
Yep. Yep.
No,
you know it's Dad.
I mean, me being all skeptical and preachy, I would probably be the disgruntled cop who is not believing the teenage kids when they tell him about the monster.
I would probably be the person that thinks that I would be Bruce Campbell's character in Evil Dead 2, the moment when everything in the fucking house starts laughing and he goes crazy. That would be me. I would be the person that goes crazy. But like out of all of us, I honestly think Katie, since she's if she didn't pick the whore who dies, I think she would be the survivor because she knows the most about horror movies.
Probably. I mean, and
you would be the stoner in Cabin in the Woods who actually knows how everything, how to survive this thing.
Exactly. It's like, I hear your mind tricks, and you know what? I'm gonna go take a walk.
Oh no! Now I realize I actually would probably be the virgin.
You would be the virgin.
So you're the one we would have to sacrifice.
No,
Wait, what?
The virgins are the survivors. The whores get sacrificed first.
Well, I mean, if we're going by Cabin in the Woods logic, he'll die anyway, just like the rest of us.
Yeah, no. What I mean, like, since he's a virgin, he's the one who is the one. Like, say, if we're in a horror movie that it has to deal with, the devil and stuff like that.
Oh,
the
like a virgin sacrifice. Okay.
Yeah, a virgin sacrifice. The devils always go for the virgin sacrifices.
Yeah, I come to the conclusion that it's not worth pretending to be. So never mind. I will just be the disgruntled cop.
Okay, and now let's go. Yes.
I was going to say, piggybacking off of what Chrissy said, being the survivor, I actually have done very, very mini, maybe 1 day's worth of survival learning stuff in the Girl Scouts. Like, I actually know how to make grasshoppers.
Like
prep
cook
them
them? Yeah,
prep them to eat.
I was about to say make grasshoppers. I was like, what kind of prestidigitation powers did you gain at Girl Scouts?
Prestidigitation.
But let's see. The fuck, marry, kill question. It involves Halloween too.
Oh.
We're in a theme.
#AskAwkward.
Mm-hmm.
Murderers. They all come in many shapes, sizes, and uses different items and objects to bludgeon and brutalize their intended victims.
Mm-hmm.
These ones have earned their fame on the big screen, and with our guest creating a movie around a caliber of death, let's get our fright and dread on with Fuck, Marry, Kill, Killer Kings and Titans of Torture. Wow, Enigma, you really put it all into this, man. Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street, Michael from the Halloween series, and Jason from Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
Remember, not only have these behemoths slaughtered tons of lives, but they are not so easy to truly kill. My blood is already shivering on what your answers will be, and I ain't
all of
gonna
these
be
been brought
in
back
no
to life
sequel.
in one of their sequels.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I think I would marry Michael.
Why?
Marry Michael mainly because he's quiet and I talk a lot, so it will be a nice
can you
balance.
imagine he's a good listener?
I mean,
Great listener. I
could say the
would
same for
marry
Jason.
Michael. Marry Michael.
Okay.
Fuck Freddy. Because Dream State, that can be some interesting shit you could do.
Oh,
The
good
claws, man.
Some
That
kinky
just sounds
shit.
like something bad is going to happen with those claws.
We could make things work, and plus he could take the glove off. He can. The
But
glove
will
is
he?
I'm sure if I asked him to, maybe. I told him he could do something else.
Uh-huh.
And then I killed Jason because Jason's honestly very boring to me. He's like my least favorite in the slasher.
But don't you
people.
know, Jason, quite frankly, can't be killed.
Yeah, he can.
Neither
He's
can
weak,
Michael.
he's weak against water. I like to swim, so that's a bad thing.
Well, so are the aliens and signs.
I
Yeah.
don't like signs.
It'd
So
be one
No
against-
one
Nobody
likes
should like
Well,
signs!
Will, what is your answer then? Can you do it better?
Let's see. Let's see. Fuck,
Very
Marry,
good.
Kill,
Yes.
Jason, Michael, and Freddy. If I swung that way,
Which is
I
fair.
would-
This is the
I
hypothetical.
I mean, it's all guys, so
of course. I would say I would fuck Jason
Why?
Why?
because I mean he's obviously going for the teenagers who can offer so much love to him.
what?
That makes no
So-
sense.
That
So
is a terrible thing of like, yeah, the teenagers, the underage
Anyways.
people can offer love to this.
But okay, let him continue.
Yeah.
Again, still trying to ward off barely any sleep.
Fair,
So I may not
fair.
be right in too right headset, but
Mm-hmm.
I would
So you're fucked, Jason.
yeah, I fuck Jason. I think I would marry Michael.
Why?
Because I mean, if the movies are any indication, he's had a rough childhood,
Aww.
and he just needs someone who could,
That's just sad now.
exactly.
A rough childhood of him murdering his parents in cold blood.
Well,
Killing his sister. In
if
cold
the
blood.
Rob Zombie version of Halloween taught us anything, is that his parents were kind of shitty.
We were abusive fuckholes.
So yeah, I would gladly marry him and give him a nice, loving family that he's always wanted.
And then why kill Freddy?
Because, well, I mean, he has to die in somebody's dreams somehow.
All right. All right. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Okay, sure.
Let's see. I'm going to kill Jason because I'm going by the logic that these are all the first of their movies, not the entire franchise. And if it is, then that's not actually Jason. That's Jason's mom pretending to be Jason.
True.
So I'm going to just kill her because, well, I don't swing that way. So death.
Okay,
What?
that's one way to go. Yeah, let's see how you
I'll
swing this around for your gold digger answer.
Well, I would marry Freddy then. He is like the nightmare ruler of dreams. Plus, if I had the power to dream hop, which I would feel like he would bestow upon me, and he's a sinful bastard already, I can go into anyone's dreams. I can go into Chris Pratt's dreams, and that makes everything worth it. I'm not a gold digger, I'm a dream digger. But no, and then I guess fuck Michael. He wears a mask anyway. I guess I could just put another mask over his head of someone I like.
or you take it off and it's a Fin of Adventure type moment where his glorious beauty comes out.
I take off his mask, it's Chris Pratt. No, that's if I go inside the Freddy dream.
So you fuck Michael in Freddy's dream world and there it is Chris Pratt. Now I can see the logic.
Yes, and then Chris Pratt will wake up in the middle of the night being like, I don't know if that was a nightmare or not. That was just strange. But yeah, there's my options.
Okay, let's see. Can I give an answer that has not been given yet?
No,
I believe yes. No, there are actually 6 different answers.
Really? Okay.
Yes, when you have 3 to select from, it's 6 different answer combinations. So,
Okay.
with overlap, obviously. So, my overlap, I am going to marry Freddy, but for different reasons than Keyframe, because this dude has like 4 knives. He's probably a great help in the kitchen. So when we can just...
You cannot judge me for being a gold digger anymore, because every marrying option you've done for months has been, this person can help me around the house. You're looking for a maid.
No, I'm
You're just as bad as me.
No, I mean, in a relationship, it's important to bring stuff together, and then we can cook together, and he does all the cutting while I do the steering. That's romantic.
No, you cannot spin that in a way that you're just not using him as a utility.
So, since you also married Freddy, I now have to fuck Jason. Obviously, I mean, that nobody thought about this before. Jason has like this absolute stamina. He is completely unstoppable. So,
I can feel the pain in my vagina right now. Oh.
No, the thing is, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about that fucking Friday the 13th parody they did on Robot Chicken with the Scooby-Doo gang, and Velma fucks Jason at the end.
oh yeah.
It's just...
yeah.
So Max is just Velma.
I mean, I already have the glasses, but no, I
You
mean,
look like Velma and Shaggy's kid, so...
Thank you, I guess. I mean, you love those characters, so...
Yeah, so it's a compliment.
But I mean, you could make a similar argument about Michael, because he's also pretty unstoppable and moves forward, even though he comes across as a little bit less. Like, he's just like... While Jason also has a little bit more energy behind his stalking, and he breaks through walls and shit. But no, here's the difference. I mean, you look at Michael, and you look at Jason, both... silent, walky, endurant guys. But then, if you take a closer look at their knives, and if you assume that those knives represent other stuff, then I would say that Jason with his machete is actually a bit better endured than Michael with his kitchen knife. So, bye-bye Michael, you just got out-Jasoned.
You know what? Your reasoning actually does hold up pretty well. I don't know what the hell I was thinking when I wanted to fuck Jason.
Well, I do this week after week. For months.
Max needs a business
card. Can I steal your reasoning and also make it mine?
No, you can't. No takesy backsies.
Well, it's not even a takesy backsy. It's an enhancy wancy or something.
No antsies. Or ease of any kind. Oh
Tired,
my God, I feel many emotions right now. Want to know what's the one that's on the top of the list?
Embarrassment.
No. Shame is in the top 10. Embarrassment's in the top 3. But in the number 1 slot here on WatchMojo.com is awkward.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random Grabs time for awkward
It's the awkward.
Random guests and funny gags on the awkward.
It's the awkward.
Artwork and analysis, which you do